So you mentioned the private sector, how the private sector gets more funding. Um, I guess a, I guess about 2, 3 years ago, prior to then Lieutenant Governor Newsom becoming the governor, I actually sat on a panel with him, and one of the things it was on the future of work, and one of the things that we discussed was this ideal around how much is the business sector truly connected to the community colleges. Now, my premise is this, and this is going to be a critique, so I'm just letting you know
Bring it.
that that community colleges, the leadership and professionals overstate their stickiness and connection to the business sector. Now, we develop all of these industry-driven initiatives, but at the end of the day, the person who's showing up there is, the director of community relations and public affairs, or someone who is not a decision maker. And the governor agreed with me. And as I said in that conversation, and you may know some, but I know I don't, that I have not seen a major company, you know, give $1 million, $2 million in cash, not from their foundation, but from their operational budget to a community college, just like they would do if it was a R&D lab at a university, to set up some type of center for that connects a pipeline of workers. I haven't seen that. Now you may know about that, but I don't. So my question to you is, how can we create more of a bilateral relationship with business that is not superficial?
It's a great point, a good question. I don't think that was really too much of a critique at all. I mean, you're right on. I think having been a CTE dean, for 8 years, we're required to have the annual industry advisory board meetings. And so you and I, we would do that and bring the faculty together. And some of those relationships become pure and true and have longevity. Others are just, a 1 day a year, review of the curriculum and a touch point. And that's insufficient to really have strong connections. There are others on the other end of the spectrum where we have employers that are teaching part-time in the program. And we have other models like Calbright, where it's actually employers financially investing in the tuition of their entry-level employees. We have apprenticeship programs where the student is already employed. And this is actually, I think, a direction that I think would be wise for our system to invest in, is not looking at the linear relationship of a student becomes an employee, but rather the employee becomes a student. And if we can get the entry-level employee to be in an apprenticeship program with the college, part-time, classes over 4 or 5 years to get their 2-year degree while they're employed, they're learning in school that relates to what they're doing on the job that same week, and having that relationship. Those are the places that you're going to see in all those apprenticeship pockets. That's where the employers and the colleges are going to be more tightly, joined at the hip. But I foreshadow an environment, and look what's happening outside. You've got Google and Kaiser and these other groups that are coming out with their own certifications, kind of bypassing, higher education almost completely. I think we're going to very quickly wake up to a world where our residents realize that education and then getting a job is not the linear relationship, but in fact, it'll be flipped. And I think instead of going to college to get a job, I think students will increasingly be going to a job in order to get a college degree.